7:30 p.m. and on Saturdays at 2 p.m. right here on High Impact 102.1 FM. The stakes are high. The competition is huge.
Chelsea are getting closer.
The prize of victory all reward.
What a goal from Gabriel Martinelli!
And no matter the teams we stand with, everyone believes this season is our season.
A bit of uncertainty in the box.
Catch all the footballing action from the leagues in the world live on Sports Hub.
Absolutely glorious from Arsenal Palace.
Mondays and Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. and on Saturdays at 2 p.m. on High Impact 102.1 FM. Fasten your seatbelt for the most exciting 30 minutes journey into the world of sports starting now.
Welcome, wherever you are.
On Sports Hub.
It is Impa Radio 102.1 FM and it's Sport Hub coming right to you from the studios. Today it's September 4 and it's 35 minutes past the hour 7 this evening. Wondering why I came in without Superman team song here? Because Arsenal were Superman last night. Manchester United lost out in that game yesterday. Declan Rice, the coach, Gabriel Jesus brought the party to life. Andre Rana not good at this time right now, and I'm sure Johnny Evans is still sliding back to Old Trafford right now. Arsenal sure will be looking to repeat the feat when they next meet at the Theatre of Dreams. Welcome, it's the Sports Up Show on Impa Radio 102.1 FM. And yes, I welcome you officially, and it's an honor to be bringing you the latest in the ever-exciting world of sport. And tonight on the menu, I have stories from football, I have basketball, I have athletics, I have Formula 1, I have it in the world of tennis. Yeah, Djokovic can't stop right now, and looks more like he's going to be breaking the record now more than ever. Max Verstappen, Mad Max. 10 wins in a row, and he's taking that record off Sebastian Vettel. Ayodeji Ajiboye is my name, and I must say it's good to have you on the other side. It's been season of upset in the US Open, as 2017 Roland Garros champion Jelena Ostapenko, who never lost to Iga Swiatek, takes the set against the number 1 and defending champion. And also Kokugawa, who is 19, is the first American team since Serena Williams in 1999 and 2000 to reach the US Open quarterfinals 2 years in a row. And Coco is following a good step. And I must tell you that this year 3 American men are in for the first time since 2005. Taylor Fritz, Salvo, and Ben Shelton. And Novak Djokovic has now reached 57 major quarterfinals. And to put that into perspective, if someone wants to reach the quarterfinals in 2024, they will need to make every major quarterfinals between then and 2039 to equal Novak, and nearly 15 years worth of major quarterfinals. Only Roger Federer is ahead of him with 58. And in football tonight, I tell you, the summer transfer window has closed throughout most of Europe, but then there are still some moves in the works and plenty of gossip swirling around. And I'll be bringing you the latest buzz on rumors, coming, goings, and of course, from the beautiful and action-packed weekend. It's Monday, the first Monday in the month of September. And yes, this one of the month of football. It has offered us a whole lot, and we are going into the international break after this weekend. I'll be starting from the home front this morning. This evening, I beg your pardon. And here Jose Peseiro contract as Nigerian coach has been renewed after he agreed to take a significant reduction in wages, and his first order of business was to name his squad to face Sao Tome and Principe in AFCON qualifiers on September 10. Peseiro was initially hired by NFF under Amaju Pinnick on the highest salary of any previous Eagles coach and nearly double the wages of predecessor General. However, the NFL, with a limited budget from the government, even less from sponsorship revenue, have struggled under the burden of paying those wages for nearly the entire year that the coach has been on the job. And his contract expired in July. The current NFF board, led by Ibrahim Musa Gusau, made it clear that renewing the contract would be conditional on Peseiro's accepting a pay cut. Meanwhile, yesterday the NFF said both parties have come to an agreement, and with a statement from NFF Director of Communications Ademola Olajire saying the coach had now agreed to continue in the role after accepting a pay cut on his earlier terms. And yes, under Peseiro's guidance, Nigeria have qualified for the 2024 African Cup of Nations and done so with a game to spare, thus meeting one of his contract requirements. The other is to lead the team to the semi-finals at the tournament in Ivory Coast come next year, 2024. And Peseiro has now called up 3 new players for the Super Eagles for this next match next week. And informed forward Gift Orban and Victor Boniface will hope to feature for the first time for Nigeria and bring their blistering European form to the green and white. And also enjoying a first-time call-up is former Germany youth international Jordan Torunriga, whose switch to Nigeria was only finalized last month. Also, there were recalls for defenders Tyrone Eboye and Bruno Onyemachi, along with midfielder Rafael Onyedika. With the injured Alex will be missing out. Nigeria, with 12 points from their previous 5 matches, are already guaranteed a place in the finals with a game to spare, but must earn at least a point to be sure of topping the group ahead of second place Guinea-Bissau, who have 10 points and play at home to Sierra Leone in Bissau. Peseiro has also been added the additional responsibility of taking charge of the CHAN team, that's around the B team now, comprising of players from the domestic league who compete at the CAF African Nations Championship. And this arrangement brings the B side under the direct purview of the head coach for the first time since the late Stephen Keshi was in charge. Giving you a rundown of the Nigerian squad: goalkeeper Francis Uzo, Olorunleke Ojo, Adebayo Adeleye, and we have defenders Olaoluwa Aina, Tyrone Eboye, Jordan Torunagwa, William Ekong, Semi Ajayi, Calvin Bassey, Jamiu Collins, Bruno Onyemachi. And in midfield, we have just 4 players by the way: Wilfred Ndidi, Rafael Onyedika, Joe Ayodele Aribo, Frank Onyeka. And the forwards, you have Kelechi Iheanacho, Samuel Chukwueze, Moses Simon, Ademola Lookman, Victor Osimhen, Taiwo Awoniyi, Gift Orban, and Victor Boniface. And I tell you, this particular list has been giving the fans a lot of talks here and there. Why are we having 4 midfielders? And someone is saying once you see 4 midfielders in the Super Eagles lineup, you must know that there has been some influence somewhere. Is it the same perspective with you? Don't forget I can be a part of the show tonight. You can call us on 0700 1021 1021. What's your take on the Nigerian Super Eagles squad list? And what's your take on the whole saga between the Super Eagles and US Peseiro himself? Can you chat to us 0700 1021 1021? Or you drop a WhatsApp message 0907224501. If from the Super Eagles still talking Nigerian football now, Enyimba will battle Wydad Casablanca of Morocco, and in their debut appearance in the African Football League starting in October. The tournament is a knockout format with home and away games, and it's going to be starting from quarterfinals. And it's left to be known whether Enyimba can beat Wydad and progress to the semi-final. Enyimba are going to be facing Wydad Athletic Club of Morocco in the quarterfinals. 529 million naira for participation fee. And Enyimba will play their own games in Uyo, talking about the nest of champions. Here from football now, let's talk a little bit athletics. And it's a nice return to action for Eze Brume in the women's long jump at the Xiamen Diamond League, where she jumped 6.71 meters. She finished third in that one. World champion Ivana Vuleta won with 6.88 meters, while Mathe Koala was second with 6.79 meters. Elsewhere, Ruth Uzoro broke sand at 6.71 on her 4th attempt to win the women's long jump at the Meeting Città di Padova in Italy. She was totally in a league of her own, as any of her 5 legal jumps would have been more than enough to win. Neja Filippic was second with 6.88. Meanwhile, Dube Nwachukwu also competed yesterday at the 400 meter with a time of 45.95 seconds. And that's talking about the Meeting Città di Padova. And he finished second in the men's. Inakikana won with 45.57 seconds, while Baboloki Tebe placed third with 46.00 seconds. Away from athletics, talking Formula 1 this evening. Yes, Max Verstappen, Mad Max. He's got the Formula 1 to himself right now. And yes, Max Verstappen has extended his Formula 1 winning streak to an unprecedented 10 races after Red Bull secured a 1-2 victory at the Italian Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel previously held the record for consecutive wins in F1 with 9. Verstappen's seemingly unstoppable run means he's now clear of that number, with the potential to extend it further over the rest of the season. Ferrari drivers Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc, who started first and third on the grid, put up a fight against the dominant Red Bulls early in the race, but ultimately didn't have the pace to challenge victory and ended up in their own battle for third place. Verstappen's teammate Sergio Perez has been working his way through the field from 5th on the grid and passed Leclerc for third place on lap 32 of 51. And yes, outside of the top 4, George Russell secured 5th place ahead of Mercedes teammate Lewis Hamilton, and both Mercedes drivers had 5-second penalties. Russell for skipping the first chicane after returning to the track alongside Esteban Ocon after his pit stop, and Hamilton for colliding with Oscar Piastri while fighting for position at the second chicane. And yes, it's history for Max Verstappen, 10 out of 10. When you say 10 over 10, chicana. Even Lewis Hamilton could not do this when he was still very much in form. Hamilton with the fastest car ever in 2020 could not do 6 in a row. Well, this is not the this though, it is just what it is. Away from that, talking tennis this evening, Iga Swiatek. A US Open title defense ended with a 3-6-6-3-6-1 loss to Jelena Ostapenko in the 4th round last night. The loss also means Swiatek stay at number 1 in WTA rankings will end next week when current number 2 Aryna Sabalenka will rise to the top spot for the first time. So when you hear raw on the court, just need this Aryna Sabalenka who is roaring, and she's roaring to the number 1 on the table. And I must tell you guys, Swiatek has been on top of there for the last 72 weeks. She's been sitting pretty on top. It's a pity she's going to be going down in this manner though. 75 consecutive weeks where she won 10 tournaments including 3 majors, 2 WTA 1000, 4 WTA 500 and 1 WTA 250 title, the latest one in Warsaw in front of her home crowd. Here from that, Coco Gauff also making history. Yes, I must tell you, the second set was slipping away from Coco Gauff in the US Open 4th round last night. Maybe she was frustrated, you cannot tell. But then she had to find her way back against Karolina Wozniacki. Wozniacki, the 32-year-old mother of 2, recently came back out of retirement. 6-3, 3-6, 6-1. It ended, and the 6-year Gauff described the interaction with her entourage as a stress reaction. Don't forget that in 2022, Gauff lost to Caroline Garcia in that round, and this time the opponent will be number 26 Jelena Ostapenko, who defeated top seeded Iga Swiatek 3-6, 6-3, 6-1 in the first round. Want to really look out for now? Coco Gauff up against Jelena Ostapenko. Talking about 2 hunters who are going to be hunted. We'll see how that pan out. I'm going to the ATP right now. Big 7 Ben Shelton moved into the quarterfinals of the US Open on Sunday with a 6-4, 6-3, 4-6, 6-4 victory over Tommy Paul, marking the second time this year he has advanced that far in a Grand Slam event. Shelton flexed his biceps at the Arthur Ashe Stadium crowd after match points that avenged a 4-set win by Paul when the Americans met in this year's Australian Open quarterfinals. He did it by winning 75% of the 4 serve points, blasting 16 aces, and putting in 2 serves in one game recorded at 149. Shelton, who is the 20-year-old who won the NCAA singles title at Florida in 2022, becomes the youngest American man to reach the final 8 at Flushing Meadows since Andy Roddick did it at the same age in 2002. And yet another American 9th seeded Taylor Fritz made the quarterfinals by getting past Swiss qualifier Dominic Striker 7-6, 6-4, 6-4. Striker taking out number 7 Stefano Tsitsipas in the second round. And the 3 men from the United States in the quarterfinals is the most since Andre Agassi, James Blake, and Robbie Ginepri got there in 2005. And this is the first major tournament since the Open era began in 1968 to feature multiple black American men, Shelton and Tiafoe, in the quarterfinals. And late last night, Novak Djokovic, the number 2 seed and 23-time Grand Slam champion, defeated 25-year-old qualifier Borna Gocho 6-2, 7-5, 6-4. And Djokovic played far more cleanly than in his previous match and was in control throughout. He finished with only 12 unforced errors while Gocho made 40. Djokovic also won 5 of the big serving Gocho's 15 service games while getting broken only once himself. And next up for Djokovic is Taylor Fritz, the only remaining player in the men's bracket to not have dropped a set so far. And this is Djokovic's 13th quarterfinal at Flushing Meadows, and Fritz fought. Djokovic is 7-0 against Fritz. Also, Jack Draper has emerged as the unlikely hero of British men's tennis at the US Open this week, reaching the 4th round of the year's final as established names from his countries have crashed out. The number 123rd ranked Draper has defied the odds for his best showing at a major, as small familiar names like 3-time Grand Slam champion Andy Murray, top Brighton, Cameron Norrie, Danny Evans, and Katie Butler were sent packing before the second week. And he has recorded a straight set win over 17 seed Uba Ukas in the second round and overcame American wildcard Michael Moore 6-4, 6-2, 3-6, 6-3 in the third on Saturday, showing poise well beyond his experience. And yes, Alcaraz was by no means perfect during 6-2, 6-3, 4-6, 6-3 victory over 26 seeded Dan Evans in the US Open third round on Saturday. And there was that wayward set after all, but the defending champion produced enough moments of brilliance to keep himself smiling and his many fans in New York roaring in approval. And today, that number 1 seeded Alcaraz explained it, said it's a lot different and possibilities enter his mind in the midst of a point. From tennis this evening, let's go to football, but before that, let's take this break and we'll be right back. Sports Up.
With all the best in sport entertainment, tune in to Sports Up on High Impact 102.1 FM.
And welcome back to the Sports Option on Impact Radio 102.1 FM. And yes, giving you the review of the matches that were played over the weekend. And yes, it is right that Arsenal paid the Bucks to sign Declan Rice for a reason. Declan Rice scored his first goal in 6 minutes into stoppage time to tee up dramatic 3-1 win against Manchester United in a game dominated by Vieira at the Emirates. Rice, who made a £105 million move from West Ham to the Gunners during the summer, beat United goalkeeper Andrea Onana with a shot that reflected off the foot of substitute Johnny Evans. And then you can always tell it was Ash on Manchester United, who thought they had won the game themselves moments earlier when Alejandro Garnacho broke through to score in the 90th minute, only for the goal to be ruled out by Vieira due to a tight offside call. And in the end, Arsenal won comfortably against Manchester United on Sunday at the Emirates Stadium. Away from that, Jurgen Klopp's side are still trying to figure out how they want to play and how their midfield will function. But Sunday's 3-0 romp over Aston Villa showed they might not be that far from the finished product. After an early strike from Dominic Szoboszlai, following a field clearance from Villa on a corner, there was only ever one winner as Matikash Ongo and Mohamed Salah finished plays the Reds to a comfortable afternoon. And here's a trip to La Liga this evening. And its 5th minute penalty from Robert Lewandowski kept Barcelona within touch distance of La Liga leader Real Madrid as they beat Osasuna 2-1 at El Cedar. But that's been far from convincing start to the campaign from Xavi Hernandez's side despite their points overall. And then Barcelona again look unconvincing in their win. Yes, they took the lead through a first half header from Jules Koundé, but were pushed back in the second half against Osasuna side that made a handful of changes after being knocked out of the Europa Conference League on Thursday. And the home team rolled on and vocal support in Pamplona eventually equalized through a stunning strike from Chimiavilla in the 84th minute, which bounced in off the post. And yes, we can say that this actually prompted Xavi to introduce a new signing, João Felix, from the bench, having already brought João Cancelo on for his debut, but it was established face that the club would salvage the 3 points via Lewandowski just 8 minutes later. And a trip to Ligue 1 this evening, PSG dragged down Lyon even dapper. And yes, one can only say it's going to be a tough task for Lyon with PSG in town. And Lyon had not won a single league game yet, 2 losses and a draw. And the only way to come out of this big early crisis was to do well against the reigning Ligue 1 champions. And yes, the team was 1-0 down after 3 minutes, 2-0 down after 20 minutes, and were beaten 4-1 in the end. And to be fair, manager Laurent Blanc players actually played some decent football. PSG goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma to make 7 saves, including 3 superb ones, while the Lyon had 19 shots, 8 on target. Well, the news making the rounds today is the back and forth between Jadon Sancho and his manager Erik ten Hag. Jadon Sancho has hit back at claims by Manchester United manager Erik ten Hag that he was dropped for the team's Premier League defeat at Arsenal on Sunday for poor training performances, saying he has been made a scapegoat. When asked about Sancho's absence from the squad after Sunday's match, ten Hag told reporters on his performance on training we didn't select him. You have to reach the level every day at Manchester United. But Sancho quickly took to social media to offer his own version of events and reject ten Hag claims. It's always Manchester United and frenzy, Man United and back and forth. To taking the news this evening, Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta said Thomas Partey will be sidelined for several weeks with a groin injury. The 30-year-old missed Sunday's dramatic 3-1 win over Manchester United at Emirates Stadium after sustaining the problem in training on Thursday and will undergo further tests. It doesn't look good and he believes he will be out for weeks, and that's according to Arteta. And just like I mentioned at the start of the show, well, the transfer window in Europe is all but closed, but then there are still some here and there. There are still some players transfer going on. And yes, Arsenal midfielder Jorginho has caught the eye of Fenerbahce, who are interested in signing him before the transfer window in Turkey closes on September 15. Jorginho, who is 31, moved to the club from Chelsea for around £10 million in 2022, but hasn't cemented a place in the first 11. And now with £100 million man Declan Rice taking his place, the Italy international could opt for a new challenge. And they also report that Manchester United duo of Eric Bailly and Donny van der Beek might be making their ways to Turkey and Saudi Arabia respectively. Bailly was not part of the squad for the summer tour of the United States and has been training with the reserves, while Van der Beek has been linked with Galatasaray. And yes, former Real Madrid captain Sergio Ramos will be teaming up with Sevilla after the captain has agreed to resign the veteran defender Sergio Ramos 18 years after leaving his hometown club. And the former Real Madrid captain will undergo a medical today and is said to be unveiled on Tuesday. Ramos, 37, spent last 2 seasons as Paris Saint-Germain before becoming a free agent this summer and the target of Turkish giant Galatasaray. Ramos was set to join Saudi Arabia club Al Ittihad this week. Meanwhile, Sevilla insisted earlier this summer that Ramos was one of their targets. However, the La Liga side are in the market for experienced defender and Ramos is still available. And yes, after coming through Sevilla's youth academy and spending 2 seasons with the senior side, Ramos moved to Real Madrid in the summer of 2005. And forget it that the Saudi Arabia's transfer window will be closing on September 7 as against the earlier announced September 20. Atletico Madrid Yannick Carrasco has completed his move to Al Shabab. The 29-year-old reportedly signed a contract with the Saudi Arabian club, finalizing his exit from Los Rojiblancos for the second time. The Belgium international, who has scored 47 goals and provided 45 assists in 266 appearances, first left Atletico in 2018 to join Chinese Super League club Dalian Yifang. And Juventus are expected to meet with Dusan Vlahovic to discuss his contract extension. The 20-year-old striker is out of contract in 2026. However, the Bianconeri could extend this by a further season in an attempt to reduce his wages. And it's reported that the Serbian international, who has scored 25 goals in 65 appearances since arriving from Fiorentina in 2022, wants to remain in Turin and would be willing to sign a new deal. And that's how much you can take on the show tonight. Many thanks to you for being a part of the show. Don't forget to join us tomorrow morning on the Sports in a Jiffy show. This one comes to your listening pleasure every weekday 10 a.m. to 10 minutes on the flip side of that, where we give you beats about everything that is happening in the world of sport. We tiptoe through them. Ayode Jajiboye is my name. And it's been a nice time having you on the other side this evening. And I'll be saying my BYEs. See you guys willing on Wednesday. The show returns 7:30 p.m. I'll be back on Saturday as well, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. 1 hour sports. Stay with us as the drop down still continues.
The best music, the best people, the best talk on High Impact 102.1 FM. Watimagbo.
Omo, our eye don't see way for this cash palava. As conductor dey shout,
as you enter, so enter with your change.
market women go dey holla.
I beg, this one don't say, I no fit collect now.
Supermarket people go dey tell you say,
okay, we no get change. I beg, use and take sweet now.
when you come see that better yama roasted fish wey don dey hungry you since nko.